I often have people say to me, the Thai language looks like an alien language, or the Thai writing system must be super difficult to learn. Even many opinions on the internet class Thai as one of the hardest languages to learn, largely due to the perceived complexity of the Thai writing system. And to be fair, when I first drew eyes upon the 44 consonants and 22 vowels that make up the Thai alphabet, I thought I was looking at an ancient Egyptian game of snakes and ladders. So with all that in mind, is it actually possible to learn to read and write Thai in only 1 month? No. Hell no. You're a goddamn liar. เป็นไปไม่ได้เลยครับ To be fair, there's absolutely no way that in only 1 month you'd be able to know absolutely everything. I guess my highly scientific hypothesis is that if you had someone standing next to you with a gun to your head forcing you to learn Thai every day for a month, I truly believe that you would be able to have a very decent grasp of the Thai writing system. Now that doesn't mean I want everyone going out and buying semi-automatic rifles just in the pursuit of learning the Thai language. I always feel like it's hard to give tips on reading and writing compared to speaking because with reading and writing there seems to be a lot fewer shortcuts and it just requires a lot of repetition. So if you find these tips are complete trash, fair enough, throw them in the bin. But first, I want to ask a question that I get asked very, very often. If you want to be good at speaking Thai, is learning to read and write actually important? When I was in university, I actually had a small go at starting to study Mandarin Chinese and Japanese just for a bit of fun. What I noticed very early on was that the Romanized versions of both these languages, Pinyin in Mandarin Chinese and Romaji in Japanese, are enough to allow you to start speaking with 100% correct pronunciation. In other words, I found that you didn't necessarily need to know how to read and write well in order to start speaking quite well. 你叫什么名字？我叫 Paddy。你会说中文吗？一点。一点。And can you read and write too? Heavens no! I'll just stick to the pinyin, thank you very much. Unfortunately, Thai is not really the same. There is no official Romanized version of the language, and there are some sounds that you simply cannot make by just using the English alphabet. For example, the word for friend in Thai would probably be spelt P-U-U-A-N, for which most people would pronounce as Puan. If you said that to a Thai person, they would probably have no idea what you're trying to say, but then still politely proceed to respond with พูดภาษาไทยเก่งมากเลยครับ However, if you added a line through both U's and then pretended to smile while saying the word like เพื่อน your Thai friend would 100% understand. เข้าใจแล้วครับ So, what am I trying to say? Throw away the dictionary, give up on the language immediately and move to a faraway island where English is all I need? Well, maybe, but not really. All I'm trying to say is that if you're motivated to have top-level Thai pronunciation, learning to read and write is really important. And that's my first tip for this video. That bullshit tip's not gonna help me learn the Thai alphabet. Can't you give me something that I can actually use? Tip 2. Break up the alphabet into manageable chunks. The Thai alphabet consists of 44 consonants. This is your starting point. But don't just start by writing all 44 consonants out and then repeating that activity. Break them up into manageable chunks and don't move on to the next chunk until you're 100% confident with the previous one. When I first began learning, I remember starting with the first 8 characters from Gokai to Jorjan. And I didn't move on to the next section until I was 100% confident with the first 8. Tip 3. Spend less time on obsolete characters. Although there are 44 consonants in the Thai alphabet, the reality is that about 30 of them will cover you for 99.99% of situations. Some characters like kokwat, kokon, or topatak are rarely used if at all. So don't bother spending too much time on them and stick to the ones that appear frequently if you want to start reading and writing within 1 month. Tip 4. Use flashcards in daily life. I used to think that flashcards were only for kids and human resources departments. Then I started learning Thai and my mind completely changed. Whether they are on your phone or using a more physical option like this Chiang Noi box set, reading them on the train or sticking them next to your bed is a great way to keep on top of them. In fact, I've always thought that sticking them in the shower and using the condensation created by the hot water to practice writing is a great way to mix things up a little bit. I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I've worn a shirt in the shower. And tip 5. change your attitude towards difficult languages. When I was growing up here in Australia, I was always told that Asian languages were difficult purely because they didn't use English characters. But in actual fact, most people had absolutely no idea what they were talking about. I'm not necessarily saying that Thai is easy, but if you approach learning languages with the attitude that it's difficult, you're bound to be demotivated very quickly. So approach it with the sense that it's different and it will take time. Anyway, that's enough for today, guys. If you thought those tips were absolutely trash, make sure to leave a trash can emoji below. If you have any tips that you would like to leave, make sure to comment them below. But until next time, I will see you guys very, very soon.